Black African Power. Welcome to the Real Black Atheist Show. Real Black Africans. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Man, oh man, oh man. We've been banging on them crazy he fools for a minute. Okay.
Produce a live in effect.
Listen, I'm tired of the disrespect of the word Africa. I'm tired of that nonsense. I'm tired of these crazy people talking crash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this book. I don't know if y'all can y'all ease up on that real fast. It say from Babylon to Timbuktu. Any reasonable Hebrew who trying to learn something going to read this. They're going to get this book. Okay, this was a read for me. All right? Guy, he trying to come from a scholarly perspective. The key word I said trying to. Okay, but he always throws in them Bible scriptures and kind of gets himself dead. Let's see what he has to say. Because this is a Hebrew guy. He said the history of ancient races, including the Black Hebrews. Okay? Let's see what he has to say about the term Africa. Because he's one of y'all leading authorities on the subject matter.
And who is this guy?
That is Dubla. I can't even. Rudolph Vella.
Rudolph Windsor, man.
Who?
Yeah, I know he ain't talking.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, that ain't us. Yeah, you know that's not us.
All right. He says on page 53, chapter 5, he says, but the modern name of this continent is Africa. Right? It is derived from descendants of Abraham and Keturah. He said what? Now, this is your Hebrew scholar, and he's saying it's not from a European. He says it comes from Abraham and Keturah. This is your people talking now. Right? He goes on to say, these descendants from Ophir, okay, or Ephraim, right, and Japhran. It says the black Jewish historian Flavius Josephus wrote the following. Ephraim, the grandson of Abraham, through Keturah, led a military expedition against Libya and captured it. When his grandchildren organized that place, they called it, from this name, Africa. See that? I didn't even have to use our stuff. I went to y'all. That shows that y'all don't even read your own stuff. Okay? And he tries to make the best case of showing, right, how the Hebrews are black. So you refuse to listen to him. So as this show go on, I'm going to start throwing in some work. I'm going to go into the Strong Concordance, right, and I'm going to go into the particular scripture that talks about this particular daughter or son, right, of Abraham and Keturah, right? And we're going to examine that name. Okay. All right. Let me jump back in. He says, right, he says in the Latin language, the word for Africa is afar, which is similar to Ophrim or afar. They say the F in the word afar and the PH in afar, right, are interchangeable in many languages. In North Africa, the Romans won a military victory, right, the period of the Third Punic War. Y'all know who they talking about, Hannibal. Right? It says, ostensibly, the Romans borrowed the word afar from the ancient Libyans who called their country afar. So we see that there's a word that is in Africa according to your Hebrew scholars. Then you go to your scriptures, to what y'all call the scriptures, and see can we find that. So we'll have to go to, he says, Ophir and afar are the same. Listening, it say the progeny of Abraham and Keturah. The Bible employs the word afar in Genesis 25:4. Go to 25:4. I don't have them tired of reading out the fake Bible, right? But I'll go to the Strong Concordance. Okay, that word there, Strong's number 6081. Afar. Oh, it is there in your Bible. So y'all don't read Hebrew, so of course I wouldn't know it was there. My fault. You're in English. You're the King James English and you're fools. Okay? And this word, right, simply means, it means a calf. The second son of Medan. Okay, it's here. Now, but we always go into the etymology of the word. For all y'all who know the origin of words, right? If you go to the origin of the word, it comes from 6082. Afar. O-P-H-E-R. Okay, and it means a masculine noun, dear, fond, stage, young heart. But that takes it back a little bit farther to a deeper root. Let's see. That's Strong's number 6080. Let's see what that is. That is afar, A-P-H-A-R. Afar. Okay. Primitive root meaning. Okay, to be gray. Okay, also to be dust. Oh, dust or powder. So obviously when they came to this area, it was dusty. If you know anything about Africa, specifically in the Sahara and that northern region, right, it turned from a grassland to a real dusty place. So in your Bible, the root of it means dusty or dust. So it's really, according to these people, it's not a European origin, okay? It's a Hebrew origin. So then why don't your teachers teach you that? Now, of course, I'm going to go far, but I'm going to run right past the Hebrew thing, because that ain't the origin of nothing. Because they came into an already existing civilization, according to their words and what they're saying. Yeah. And so you see, we see a lot of confusion, because these people refuse to use their own book. They want to stay in the King James, what they call King James English. Oh, man. Not you. You on the corner. Ain't wrong going in the corner and say that.
He your brother along with Shakespeare. What you talking about? The newest one was George Washington. You remember that one?
Okay.
Oh, man.
Listen.
Reaching for straws, bro.
According to the Strong's Concordance, right, 8035, they speak of Shem, okay? And they're saying that Shem, right, is the oldest son of Noah, the progenitor of the Semitic tribes. When you talk about Semitic, you're talking about Semi. You're talking about mixed seed, mixed people here. So your own Bible tells you who they are, okay? And it tells you, it gives you a locale. They're in the Middle East, in that middle region of the area. Now, I keep saying that middle area has been a great mixing bowl for thousands of years. People come back and forth because that's the trade route. You got to go in and out of Africa that way. A lot of mixing goes on right there. Yeah. And so y'all cracked a joke about Ham or Cam, right? The word Cam or Ham means hot. That's the father of Canaan. Southerners, the Bible tells you, these are people who live in Africa, the Southerners, and they tell you that they built the first civilization. Even in this book, he clearly says that these Southern people built the first civilization, not the Hebrews. Very interesting that your God would allow some other people that didn't know God to build the first civilization. Reading, writing, math, science, temples, worship, all kind of things. Voodoo. You feel me? Give them all the things needed to form civilizations. That's why the crazy Hebrew on there can say that America was made from what they say Egypt. Did he not say that? He showed you dollar bill with the pyramid. Well, of course, they had no other example to use but Egypt, but Africa. Right?
They need to come on home.
Hey, man,
get off the podium and come home.
Get off the podium. Yeah. Get off the corner, man, please.
Okay. Let's go. That's just one of my favorite books right here. The Book of Beginnings.
I think that book's out of print now, ain't it?
Yeah, y'all can't get this. You've been reading the Bible for the last 20 years, you ain't got this. Zoom up on that. Is that possible? The Book of Beginnings by Gerald Massey, Book 1. The two-value set. Yeah. Right? Very important book. What he says on page 28, he says the word, hold on. He says the name Africa is derived from this root, F or U. The tongue of Egyptian tells us that Africa is the inner land, born of, or literally the birthplace. Man, a lot of y'all say that the word Africa comes from the root. We learned it in the WAPO, separate and divide. But was it talking about the people? No.
Nah.
Because last time I checked, the only thing that was separated and divided was the land mass after the continental drift.
Exactly.
Very interesting there. So see, we starting to dig in now. And it's very interesting how y'all got that confused like that. Man, hold on. You know what they need? This is what y'all need to get. The complete idiot's guide to the Roman Empire. Y'all are idiots now, right? Yeah, see, y'all need to get this. This is a complete guide to idiots. Because you're idiots howling and screaming. You go to Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, and you can get this. It's a guide for idiots. Right? You're idiots. Guess what they have to say about Rome, about Africa? Kind of support you a little bit. It says, there at the Battle of Zama, Scipios defeated Hannibal. Como Scipios. Africanus, that's what they really talk about, right? All right, defeated Hannibal in 202 BC. Rome became the masters of Western Mediterranean, and Scipio received the title Africanus, the conqueror of Africa. if anybody ever decided to study Roman history, you would know whenever they defeated an enemy, they took on that enemy's name.
Yep.
Okay, so Africa had to be an indigenous name of that area, of those people, for them to actually take on that title. It's very simple, but you got to get the book for complete idiot. It says complete idiots. Okay, so at this point, you're a complete idiot, so you got to read this and go tell your teachers, well, why didn't you tell me that? Why didn't you tell me that Leo Africanus defeated Hannibal? Because you remember, Leo Africanus, right, his father got beat down by Hannibal. So it's called the Younger, Leo Africanus Younger, right? He was on the battlefield watching Hannibal beat his dad up. And so he kind of observed the way Hannibal was whipping ass. Excuse my language. It's not a cuss word though, is it?
Nah.
Right.
It's a donkey. It's a donkey.
Talking about the donkey now. He observed this, so by the time it was his turn to take on Hannibal, right? He employed some of Hannibal's techniques.
As they're still doing now.
As they do now. They use our stuff back on us. You know, civilizations fake you and they got us. So we understand that Hannibal was defeated by Africanus. That's the title he got once he defeated Hannibal. So y'all out of order with that.
Who are you talking about? Who are these Hebrews? These one of these cats on the corner?
I don't know which. I haven't figured out. Well, excuse me. Will the real Hebrews please stand up? We haven't quite figured out.
Was there
What group?
I mean, it's a common.
They're not united on any front.
Is it a few? I mean, some read the New Testament, some don't. I'm just trying to figure out.
Some
Yeah,
believe
why
in
is it-
Jesus, some don't believe
It's a
in
common.
Jesus.
That's a common historical error. I've seen that in history books, and I mean, Hebrews is different, just like different Muslims, different Christians.
Yeah, who are you carrying? Why are we
Different
giving them so much airtime?
They need that airtime because they be disrespecting Africa.
Oh, they are?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they on the corner. Then you got young brothers that say, here's a question. Watch this. That's a good question. I like to give them a little airtime, right, to show them how crazy they are, right? And just let you all the responses. Now imagine if this youngster would have ran into one of them early in the game. He'd have had to process all that information because they mix truth and falsehood together.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right? A lot of people do that now. I call it post-traumatic slave syndrome when you decide to grasp at a history that ain't even yours. It ain't even history because the Bible ain't a daggone history book.
At all.
It's a story from a Hebrew perspective.
That's all it is.
Okay? And that perspective wasn't but that big because it's in the Middle East. It's not the rest of the world. Easy. The Zulus, their story is not even for the whole world.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's a Zulu story.
Right.
On those slave ships, you had Africans that were Muslims. The record clearly shows this. So I'm sure you had Africans that were Hebrews.
Roots showed that.
You're not born a goddamn Hebrew, right? You're not born a Muslim. You have to
Be taught it.
be taught it. No, you're born natural. These are religion. You're not born a Christian. Right? You have to be baptized and the different things you got to do, and then you become a Christian. Okay? So you had a different variety of different Africans, right, that came on those slave ships, but the root of who they were was the original people. Already conquered by religion if you was a Hebrew or a Muslim. You was already conquered. You came over. Allah conquered up.
Yep.
You know what's amazing when you get around African people though, amongst the Yoruba, the Ifa and all that, you know, they all fight for their creation stories. Yeah. We just do that. But we never say that, yeah, you that too.
That's disrespectful, man.
And I don't have a problem with the Hebrews saying the world came into existence with black Hebrews and that's it. Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
But don't get mad at me if I go towards science and say, yeah, all life comes from the sun. Matter of fact, let me get real quick. Okay, now, Central East African Society. So now we're in Central East African societies. Uh-oh. In the Great Lake regions, when we talked about Great Mega Lake Chad, right? Okay, lakes regions call the area Afura. You seeing where that word is coming from. Uh-oh, this is my man right here. The Bacala of North America, the living sons of vitality. Brother Asar Hotep, he wrote that.
Oh, okay.
One of my homeboys. So we writing our literature, see? And we're reading some of the ancient languages. He can do that. He's a linguist, okay? You can
Asar
find him on the
Im
Amara.
Hotep.
Yeah, you can find him on the Amara squad. On the Amara squad, we got a couple linguists. Got a few historians. See? So y'all don't know what y'all stepping into when y'all on that nonsense. They writing books. They breaking down the meta-nature. Okay? We're not reading the papyruses in English. Okay? Let's get that established. That's why y'all nonsense, right? He says, once again, he says, in Central East Africa, they call the area Afar. They say, you will find many variants of this term, such as Afar, Afar, Za'afar, Safala, Afara, Afaro. The name Afar and its variants can be broken down as following. The land. Okay? A, or Sa, or Za, So, or Ta. We know those who deal with chematology. We call it what? Ta.
Pata.
Pata, or Ta, or Tamare. Okay, now, the other part of that is of the king, Pharaoh, or Pharaoh. So you're really talking about, however, Afar means the kings, or God's land, or the land of the kings, or the land of the gods when you talk about Afar or Africa. I get it now. Do you know why we was called the gods? Because anywhere you go in the cosmos, the genetic imprint, the DNA, RNA that comes out of the center of suns is African. So if you're going to come human, you first got to be a great nigga. You get that? If you're going to be human, you first got to go through the womb of an African woman. Do you get that? DNA and RNA proves that. That's through science. Plain and simple. Meaning you can't just pop up on the planet and be white.
Right.
You can't just pop up on the planet and be Asian. You can't do it. If you go to Mars and the DNA has been there, you're going to see a great nigga.
Spell that.
N-A-G-A.
N-A-G, okay.
In English, we say
Ninja.
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 Okay.
So you go to Mars.
For those in TV land, it's ninja.
If you go to Mars and it's human DNA, you're going to find the ninjas. If you go to Andromeda, which is the closest galaxy, right? If that DNA is there and it's already formed human, you're going to find ninjas. It is the blueprint. We're the God, because God is the origin, right? Okay? So the origin of humanity is the great ninjas. That's his DNA. That's why it's the land of the gods. We brought information, the origin of information, literature, 7 liberal arts, right? The origin of the human population, right, is Great Rift Valley. It's in Africa. So
that's what happened when other cultures came there. When other cultures came to Africa, whether it's the Asiatics, the Romans, the Greeks, whatever, that's what they said, the land of gods.
Land of the gods. So Africa can be traced back to the land of the kings or queens or the land of the gods. Y'all don't know what the heck y'all talking about, and that's called checkmate.
Sooner or later, but must, the dam will burst and everyone will break out. And we'll stop them. The force, which force can stop this river of ones who already know their course? The force is a centenarian, and that is far too old. 150 years of brute force. Don't tell me them not cold. Them cold. What do we have here? Black History Month, Reggae Month. I love this month, but I don't worship the idea. Straight up we'll use the time to clarify the year and strengthen the resolve of the African and all other freedom lovers. Mabrak, news flash, Babylon plans crash, thunder interrupt their program to announce. Black electric storm is here. Straight up, Mondays to Fridays, 9 till midday. Mondays to Fridays, News Talk 93 FM. I'm Robin Bongo Jerry Small, your host, straight up. Good morning and welcome to and for this week. I'm your host Jerry Small. This is News Talk 93 FM on the Mona campus of the University of West Indies. And we are heard all over. Today is Monday the 22nd of February 2016. And we broadcast from 9, just after the 9 o'clock news till midday, Mondays to Friday. And Saturday night I wrote down this and I'm preparing the agenda and the music for today. Because Saturday night was the 21st of February. No, the 20th of February. But I wrote it down approaching midnight because I was preparing to go to the house, the Nation of Islam lecture, and also to the Dan Drummond weekly expose that the Institute of Jamaica, the Jamaica Music Museum, under the direction of Herbie Miller, been putting on for the whole of this month, Sunday to Sunday, Sunday by Sunday. And I did mention Malcolm X's assassination anniversary, but that was on Friday the 19th. The actual anniversary was yesterday, Sunday the 21st. He was assassinated on the 21st of February 1965. So I wrote down the music that the Scatterlights played in 1965 after the assassination. They didn't write it, they played it. I'm going to write down I'm going to play the music of the man who wrote the music afterwards. After which the Scatterlights blow this tribute to Malcolm X. Scatterlights, straight up, Malcolm X. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. That is a Malcolm X tribute by the Scatterlights 1965. I heard Roland Alfonso and this is Johnny Moore bemoaning the fact and congratulating the life of Malcolm X. But as Dermatose point out there, beautifully handling that expose and symposium at the Institute of Jamaica, Eastern Tower Street, Sunday afternoon. As Dermatose beautifully explained in his handling of the whole symposium there. Symposium of about 6-7 trombonists and saxmen and trumpeters and drummers and audience and all kind of appreciation. That Malcolm X assassination anniversary was on that same day, and that the Scatterlights tribute was taken off a Lee Morgan Sidewinder. Lee Morgan Sidewinder, American trumpeter who died, who was killed at the same age of Dan Drummond. Dan Drummond wasn't killed, but Dan Drummond and Bob Marley, both of them lived a very similar amount of months and years. 36, 37, 35, 36, 37. And Lee Morgan lived a similar amount of years and was similar number of years and was murdered by his wife, estranged wife, shot. Lee Morgan, Sidewinder. Weird. Sidewinder is a missile, you know, a very lethal weapon. Sidewinder missile, among other things named Sidewinder. Lee Morgan, Sidewinder, original from 1963. Yes, and so on and so forth by Lee Morgan. And it didn't surprise me when Dermatose, almost the first thing he said is that Scatterlights played up to name they called Malcolm X, and that it was originally played by Lee Morgan, and that it was the anniversary yesterday when he was speaking of the assassination of Malcolm X. It don't surprise me when people know the same thing that I know, or even the same thoughts come to other people. It don't surprise me, don't make me insecure. Some people are insecure when them see, or when them hear other people arrive at the same thoughts as them, or at the same facts as them, independently of them, without knowing that they, or without even knowing them, or without knowing that they arrive at the same thing. Some people, it makes them feel insecure. It is a human feeling, but it's not the best feeling. So it gives us an opportunity to grow from insecurity to security. Don't be insecure when somebody arrive at the same thoughts that you newly arrive at, or a long time arrive at, independently of you, probably before you. Because we are inhabited by the said life. Our body is inhabited by the same life what some people call God. Same life, same God inhabit you and inhabit all life, all living things, all intelligence. So great when I hear Dermato say, giving them verse, chapter and verse. And you know Dermato has been in this this work much longer than me. Thank you very much to him. It was him introduced me to radio. Introduced me into radio in 1969 on the occasion of the death of Dan Drummond. Dermatos introduced me into radio. After I was introduced into television by Hugh Gentles 5 years before 1964. Thank you very much to Dermatos. And not only, something else I want to give credit to Professor Verin Shepherd on our program Talking History, reminding us that the date 17th of February passed very quiet without most people remembering that it is the anniversary of the last shipment of kidnapped Africans that was delivered in Jamaica legally. After that, whole heap of illegal shipment take place. Them said them abolished slavery, the slave trade in 1807. But shipment still reached Jamaica after that on the 17th of February 1808 in Kingston Harbor, the last legal, according to their law, shipment of kidnapped Africans. So-called legal shipment. After that, whole heap of shipment gone. Piratical shipment, just like the original one, but claiming that these were legal originally. Now, the Minister of Justice, Mark Golden, discussion take place that, certain appointments, it would be better for certain appointments like, the political ombuds person and the commissioner of Indicom and many other appointments be reviewed by the parliament before the person is confirmed. The parliament should examine it, test the person before the appointments, like what take place in the United States, the process that take place in the United States and certain other countries, where people appointed to very vital and sensitive and important jobs, government jobs, are subject to the scrutiny of the parliament. The representatives of the people collectively scrutinize these people and their whereabouts and their antecedents and all different kind of thing about them. Mark Golden say him no want that. Him no want that. Him say him don't want a trial in God knows. Him no want people put on trial in a God knows. And yet his seniors as PNP lawyers have been saying, and he might have said it too, that God knows and the parliament is the highest land in the highest court in the land. Them say that the parliament is the highest court in Ireland, but him say him don't want the appointees or the people who have been nominated to fill certain sensitive jobs. Him don't want them to be subject to the scrutiny of the parliament. They are talking out of two, well, I don't know much to side them out of, or if it's the same side. I don't know if it's the same side partner mouth. I don't know who, if them are kiss out of the same side, or the two sides of them mouth, or if I want same side. Enough of that, claiming that Parliament is the highest court, but him don't want Parliament to examine. Don't want Parliament to examine the appointees. Why him don't want Parliament to examine the appointees? Guilty as charged after examination. I want to play a piece of music by the Wailers, Scare Jerk. I just like the rhythm. Scare Jerk. Let's see how Scare Jerk, Wailers, please. Yes, no, not only Malcolm X was assassinated on the 21st of February 1965, but Walter Rodney, the inquiry into the assassination of Walter Rodney, as Kabu and others have brought forward, has been handed in to the Guyanese government, but it has been leaked before. And it is saying that the Forbes Burnham, the Prime Minister of Guyana, and all of him PNC party people them, must have known and must have been involved in the assassination organization. Walter Rodney assassinated on the 13th of June 1980. The Prime Minister of Guyana, the whole function, and the head of the army of Guyana at the time, who is now the president of Guyana, he also implicated, the head of the army. And him always tell the Guyanese people that what? The PNC, the political party of Forbes Burnham and himself, the head of the army, is paramount over the army. Paramount. In other words, the party control the army and control the country. And that is what you must look out for in Jamaica. The paramountcy of them, the police state and the army state. The police state and the army state that they intend to establish firmer and firmer. That police state and that paramountcy of them party, the PNC. So between Grenada and Guyana, you can see them, you know, the gangsters and the bank robbers, them closing ranks and planning to do a Guyanese thing in Jamaica.
When we pass through, man, a danger business. Good say no say. Original bandolier, man. Roll.
Everything gone up, who gone up, you stand up, you stand up, your rental gone up and everything gone up. For everywhere she see I am, she want money. Everywhere she see I am, she want money.
Good morning and welcome back to Straight Up. And welcome to the Straight Up debate. Straight Up debate 22nd of February, Monday. And my witness is good that I did select this music to play at this time, long before the lady phone and say she have a political, financial crisis and she don't want to come in, she want to do it by telephone. Monday morning come, she absent. Well, let's hope she come by 11 o'clock. Let's have Money Girl by Culture. And we select all this just like how we did select Sidewinder from Saturday night. And it's no miracle, it's no prophecy. It's just reality. Clock working properly. Straight up, Monday morning come. Yes, just as the Forbes Burnham government, I know Forbes Burnham and Michael Manley was very close and very similar, but Forbes Burnham have a little nastiness in him there. Forbes Burnham have a little nastiness in him there. Michael Manley, I don't think was deliberately nasty. I don't think so. And the Forbes Burnham and MPNC set up a police state in Guyana and go on well. The CIA help him. The British government help him set up a police state. And him still go on like him a play with Soviet Union and Cuba. But it was falsehood itself. And them assassinate Walter Rodney. And so them police state, them have dreams of setting it up back right now. Them have dreams of setting up a police state finally, once and for all. A European PJ parties now on the campaign trail. I want you to listen to some of the word when say good. Listen to some of the word them when say good. Him is not really of that nature, but him will coach them and help them still. Then now Peter Phillips, like what the Guyanese did say, the PNC, the political party that them have, is paramount over the military and over the whole Guyana. Paramount, that means high and mighty over. Paramount, like what them have paramount chief in Africa. When me not about to none. Paramount. And so it was Peter Phillips when he was looking the job for Minister of Security late in 2001. When it was seen that PJ Patton was going to remove KD Knight after I think 11 or 12 years. And people were vying for the job. Even Trevor Monroe started to make pronouncements about security, which would put him in a good light. Peter Phillips himself made one memorable pronouncement, one or two. This one was that the interest, I want to get back the exact word, but the interest of the state, the interest of the state is paramount over the rights of any and all citizens. That's what Peter Phillips said when he was Minister of Health or something like that, or Works, looking to take over as Minister of Security and making some public statements that would make people say, yes, this is a good choice. Him said the paramountcy, the survival or the interest of the state is paramount over the rights of any and all citizens. Paramountcy. Paramount to them say. And you see the gangster them and the bank robber them closing in, them mouth salivating and dreaming of something where them start try implement already. They setting up at the police state. May we hear Police and Thief by Junior Marvin, please. Police and Thief. The paramountcy of the party over the army and the police.
Fighting the nation with them.
At the time when this music became popular, I remember it was after 75 there. And at that same time Peter Phillips was gearing up to get back into the political connection. I remember as a youth, as a teenager himself and John Davis was on their way to go check some of the officers of the PNP because they thought that was the best use they could make of their young, strong minds, teenagers. And it was on their way there that they were encouraged to say, hold on, because they were saying, yeah, boy, you have to go inside here and change the parties from inside. The parties are not good. But if you want to change them, you have to go inside and change them from inside. That's what they thought as teenagers. They were arrested, you know. When I say arrested, I mean they were detained by some reasoning, and for a few years, between 67, 68 and 75, 76, well, John Davis stayed firm to the faith in good, and Peter Phillips was convinced to try and change it, try to take good into the party and change it from inside. Just at the same time when this music came out, I always remember, every time I remember this music, I remember the movements of Peter Phillips from center to left at that time. No crime, no sin, just remembering. Yes, now, yes, next thing is this. Police state or police service. No, them not dealing with police service. Police state them are dealing with. And yet is a police service supposed to be established. But you couldn't expect the British in 1867 to establish a police service. Police state, and these people are carrying on the same thing. Let's go for a break and come back. Debate day today. We're going to lay out some of the guidelines for the debate when we come back. Straight up. They think it's RJR they're dealing with. You know RJR. RJR works with the Gleaner. And you know who the Gleaner works with. And Dion Jackson Miller, she had to withdraw when it was so disgraceful what they were trying to engineer on RJR. Dion Jackson Miller withdraw, and also Miss Emily Crook, she refused to be associated with any such setup. Well, don't play that song for me, because it bring back memory that she lie. Don't play it for me. Bring back memory that she lie. I don't say she's a con woman, you know. She does lie. And she lie, man. My career then.
Don't play it no more.
Don't play it no more. No matter play it no more at all. Well, last night I watched TV. 2 stations of broadcast the labor at the meeting in half 3. 2 stations of broadcast. I don't get excuses, no news at all. Although them claims that no news is good news. I have some people for yelling, but we have to go to that later, because today is debate day. Today is debate day, and we'll soon tell you some more of the rules. I'll tell you one of the first rules is that no reading from no paper. Yes, you can have your note paper with certain little point, but you can't be reading no speech from no paper. Most dishonorable to be doing so. Talking about most honorable, last night I watched the TV. Once the news and I see pure GLP meeting half 3. When I look on the Siaga, I see Eddie Siaga, and him say him never thought the day would come when he would put on back him green shirt again. And him say him have on the same shoes. I never get visit the shoes. I must say one green crepe or one green track shoes, I don't know. And him say him have put them down a long time because him know say one day him would need them again. One day him would need them again. You know, understand? So when you take a stock, we have to go play Mr. Monty Morris now. You have Monty Morris there, sir? Because see, I got say a 45-year service in Guinea politics. Nobody else in the English-speaking Caribbean ever served so long. I know some can't go to the Spanish-speaking Caribbean. You know. I know say Fidel Castro outride him, outshoot him, and shooting from the hip, and still a ride with him bandolero. Fidel Castro. That are the more honorable one. The more honorable one is Fidel Castro. But anyway, see, I got say nobody else in the English-speaking Caribbean couldn't no serve no 45 year. Him and him 45. I go here from Monty Morris. Me and me 45. Because I tell mommy and daddy, say nobody worry yourself, you know, mommy and daddy, because some people out there and them want a part of me. From 1962, you know, when people say them, boy, people want a piece of me. Enough of them slang I go a long time, all they knocking a fist on high hands. What they call it? High five and all them things. A long time them thing I go on, go watch Marlon Brando from in the 40s and 50s. This is a high five and knocking a fist I go on a long time. Me and me 45 and see I gonna feel 45 years. But Monty Morris said me and me 45. Let's hear from Monty Morris again. Wicked and terrible. Yes, Monty Morris and him 45. Not 45 years like Osiaga, you know. And you know, although Osiaga is a man can't claim gun, you know. Champion shooter, Metro Siaga, Albert Siaga, Eddie Siaga. When one now win the champion shooting, a trap shooter is the other one. Them practically, them come from Beirut, you know, Lebanon. They know them shoot flying. But you know the PNP can match them too. Match them too. Sometimes them outshoot them too. But see, I gotta tell you about some disgraceful thing we go on in Jamaica that become normal. Not normal, but become commonplace. Him say a father want to make love to him two daughters. The first one him advance to she say no, him chop her for an iron. Him say him go to the second one and the second one resist him chop off that the one and two. I don't think say I gotta tell no lie now. And next thing him say one man one piece of land for buy from him neighbor. But him no really have no hold for money. Neighbor say, alright, you have a little 12-year-old girl, like, give me her for the land. And you know, so the man get the land though. Yes, man, him swap him little 12-year-old girl for the land. What a nastiness. The industrialization of crime in Jamaica by politics. Crime did always go on and gun play and gun shooting. But it has been industrialized by the PNP and the GLP. The devil picking them. I go from sugar miners. Devil picking them.
Never see a thing like that. They might dress up in a black. They might sprinkle this and that. They ban the poor suckers.
A devil picking them. Devil picking. Some of them are devil parents. Devil parents. Well now, the doctor get the swine flu. And you know that frequently when them not running anything right, because instead of Doctor of Health, Minister of Health, and Minister of Hemp, a Ministry of Hemp, them want to know, not Ministry of Health. So the doctor catches swine flu, and we are so sorry about this. And the medication what them give the doctor is 2011 medication will expire. Catch 2016 swine flu and them give him 2011 medication will expire and him dead. Thanks to them. We're going to take a one call. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Morning, Jerry.
Welcome, sir.
I don't know that, Jerry.
Know what?
I don't know that is an expired drug then get it.
What did you call about? I soon, you only have a minute and a half, so you tell me what you...
I hear Mr. Wallace is saying that too.
No, we're not talking about that. Tell me what you called about.
But Jerry, when you're talking some kind of real estate and you have to...
No, that's not what you call about, because you call... Alright, get him out of here. Out of here. Back up to your headquarters. One of your friends accosted me yesterday, you know. Say me go on like me a bad man. One of your PNP friend accosted me, say me go on like me a bad man, and inviting me. Say if me willing to follow him go down and west to see if me a bad man. At that time I said to me, you know, one of your friend Wilson, say we are talk too strong. We the people will not be dominated by them and them police state or them and them bad man. Them and them bank robber and gangster coming together. We'll not be not bad or bad. We the people will stand up. Generation after generation. Yes, we will. We soon go to the 10 a.m. headline news, and when we come back, we introduce a debate and outline very quickly some of the guidelines. No reading from the paper, that's the only one that we outline so far. But, you know, simple and clean. Yes, we the people will not be intimidated. And no bad we bad when we talk hard, you know. No bad we bad, you talk about if we are going like we are bad, man. Straight up to the 10 a.m. headline news, straight up.
And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, Jack Kingdom goes to waste.
Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. It is debate time, 22nd of February, Monday. Straight Up debate. And just before we outline some more and invite the debaters to come in, we have 4 or 5 of them on the spot so far. PJ Patterson, just like and before Siaga, been turning out, digging deep into the past prime ministers and so-called most honorables, both parties. Patterson out there from before. Because I know that Portia Simpson is not acting in missing. Not missing in action, acting in missing. And when it comes to leadership and all them way there, I don't know if Siaga feel the same thing about wholeness in protege. But Patterson said, in a Mobile, I say yesterday or last night, I'm on deb out. I'm on dep on stop, on spot. I'm on dep on spot. My quote Ronnie Williams. I'm on debut, I'm on dep on stop, and him say, pan spot, and him say, I'm on a political professor. Patterson say no. Patterson don't boast a lot, you know. But him boast last night, say I'm a political professor. Him a the political professor. Alright, I want to, as I said, the first rule that we have here, no reading from no paper. Yeah, you can have your notes, of course, naturally. But no reading from no paper. No paper tigers. No paper tigers around here. No reading from no paper. No phone plug in a ears from headquarters or anywhere else. No phone plug in a ears. No earphone. No phone neither turn on. Can we now invite the debaters to come in, please, and repeat these in them present and ask them to make them initial presentation. 5 minutes to allow each one uninterrupted. And after that, either rebuttal or we ask them to make some comments or give opinions on certain questions and points and policies. The theme of the debate is the political future of Jamaica. The theme of the debate is the political future of Jamaica. We don't see none of the party candidate them so far. So far, a 2-party candidate phone in and don't want to come on the scene. But another lady, an independent lady, phone and says she will be late, and we're looking forward to her, young lady. But 2-party candidates so far phone in and want to do it from behind the smoke screen, smoke and mirrors. We welcome them still. We welcome them still. We can have a next debate because we was going to have a preliminary debate by phone, you know. We were going to have that, and maybe we'll have one in the future, but not them going to call the shots. This is not RGR. And there's not them going to call the shots. I'm not a dictator neither, but they're not going to call no shot around here from them headquarters. Call shots for them own people. Let's come in, please. We have one debater coming, please. Let us, we need one more chair, please, so far. Can one of them brothers go for that chair there for a minute, please? And where's the sister? Where the sister is? Alright, go for your chair, please. Alright, let's go. No, we don't need no sound now. Yeah. Okay, sit please and introduce yourself first. Where's the young man? Where the young man will come really well? Alright, good morning. Introduce yourself, please. Could you introduce yourself, please? Good morning. I'm going to outline. Yeah, earphone, please. Yes, right away. Please do something. Please put on the earphone. Yeah, introduce yourself, please, ma'am. Yes, right away, please. Yeah.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Yes.
My name is Mavis Campbell. I am a retired civil servant.
Yes, thank you very much. Next one.
Good morning.
Yeah.
My name is Raskova. And as you know, I'm a development advocate.
Yeah. Of which, of any party?
Well, the PPP, the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party,
Thank you
which
very
I'm a candidate for Western St. Thomas.
Western St. Thomas. That is the near part to Kingston.
Yeah.
From the border 10 miles to Morant Bay.
Yeah.
And going up in the hills, the foothills of the Blue Mountain.
Yeah. But in general, you know, my programs are national.
No. You soon get to tell about the policy. Please, Mr. Kova. I think so far is the only person who is identified with a party. Anybody else identified with a party? Yes or no, please?
Nope.
Next one, please. Introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, listeners.
We have a recording going, right?
Frank.
Recorded. Thank you very much.
Frank Grant.
Thank you very much.
Okay, otherwise known as Jigsaw when I'm on here.
Yeah, man. A second of us frequent correspondents on the phone, on the radio. And you, my brother. Next one.
Greetings and blessings, Jamaica and the world. I go by several names.
No, let's keep it short.
Michael Pottinger.
But which last name you have?
Last name is Son of Selassie.
No, talk up, no, man.
Son of Selassie.
No, what people know you as out there?
Hotep.
Okay, thank you very much. And you're closely identified with the struggle for the rights of Pinnacle. Thank you very much. Now, as I've been saying for a few days and I've been saying for a few minutes here, that we're not going to allow any reading. Just give me some attention, please. Hello, everyone. We're not going to allow any reading from a paper, but of course you will have your notes, because we're encouraging thinking and expression, and so therefore of course you will have your notes, and notes are a normal part of preparation. Okay, that's the first thing. The next thing is that we're not going to allow any phone to be used. Right? Everybody accept that? Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Could we hear now? Could we hear, please? No, we would like to hear the sound out of people's mouths.
Yes.
Because there's an audience out there, it's not TV. So therefore we need to affirm audibly and yes, man.
Okay.
So is it fair to say no reading of presentation? Is that fair, sir?
Reasonable.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Is that so?
No reading, but notes.
Yeah, we have notes. Okay, Mr. Kova.
That's it.
Use the mic, close to the mic, please. And remember, please let us focus on the mic.
Yeah, that's it.
And yes, my brother, is that fair?
Yeah, very fair.
All right, next thing. Is it also fair that we don't allow the use of phones, that nobody can phone you from headquarters and tell you what to say? Please, it's not a competition, but we don't really want. Is that fair?
Quite fair. Makes sense.
My lady.
Reasonable.
Sakova.
Clear.
All right, now, so, Mr. Is that clear to you? No, talk up.
Yes, that's clear.
Yeah, remember, anything I ask you, please reply same way, audibly. All right, next thing, no earphones, because the earphone and the phone similar. Is that all right? All right, now, so I'm going to ask each one of you to make a presentation for 5 minutes of how you recommend, either how you recommend for the future, the political future of Jamaica, or how you prophesy or see it happening, how you see it coming, or how you would like it to be. All right? So, we're going to start with this brother here. Yes, we're going to start with you. Go ahead, please. 5 minutes. It's now 20 past. Go ahead, please.
Greetings and blessings, family. I'm in a bit of a predicament right now, because I haven't really made any notes. I've just come here with the spirit of freedom, I come with the heart of a father who sees his children going through an education system that doesn't equip them for a good life, actually blinkers them to the realities of their life. A health system that, well, if in all truth, if education was working the way that education should work, the health system would be null and void, because we'd be living well and eating well and being healthy people. The crime is just a direct result of the poverty from the barbarism that has been imposed on our people for a few hundred years now. I'm here as a representative not for the Jamaican family but for the African family. I study and research constantly, daily, and our family is suffering around the world, and the root of the suffering is in slavery, plain and simple. You know, right now there's a lot of things going on with controversies in regards to performers like my youth the other day, what's his name, Lamar, Kendrick Lamar, is that his name?
With all respect, we're gone 2 minutes out of the 5 minutes. Hold on, please. Could you deal with the future, please?
The future. What the vision, what I was given for this country was a wonderful vision of a healing place, you know, where people could come and rest mind, body, and soul, and be fed in that way. With the well, come to the garden, because I always refer to this island as the garden. Everything is here. The only thing that we lack right now is the right knowledge to do with the stuff that we have. We have the world is sick. The world is sick, and the world is sick for a reason, like I said. Now, Jamaica is here to hopefully guide the world to a reality where we can survive. I'm really grappling here because I've been going through some hard stuff for the last few years, trying to come to terms with the spirit that I have come with. I've come to free my people. That's the spirit I've come with. I've come to free my people, and I've been blessed to come here and meet the heart of the Rastafari family then, and I'm so confused.
All right, take a minute.
Yes.
You have a minute and a half left. You can deal with it next time. Yes, my lady. Could you give your presentation now? 5 minutes.
Thank you. I have lived through several elections, political debates, and what have you. And I've lived in Jamaica for a good while. I do not belong to the youth demographic. I'm probably a big youth. I've been around for some time. And at this point in time, one of my main concerns is the tribal nature of our politics. The fact that people are prepared to lock their minds into certain sort of cult-like behaviors. And I think this is very distressing. In the future, I'm expecting some of our intractable problems to continue. Problems such as crime, unemployment, low growth, income inequality, problems with family arrangements, and so on. It's not an easy way out of these problems. I expect us to continue to have to deal with the IMF and to try and contain ourselves in terms of how we spend money. As I've said before, the IMF program is really a program to help you not to run with it and to have some kind of fiscal discipline, except that the whole question of growth is being crowded out. And therefore, very quickly in the future, I am not one for forecasting. I don't do polls. But against the background of all the promises that we've been hearing from the political parties, and some of them are worthy of consideration. And don't misunderstand, I think they have both made their contribution. but I think they are locked into certain positions which do not give us the benefit of the truth about our country and where we are going. And it's against that background that I think that in the future we need to strive more towards some very serious reforms of the political system. This is not something that I dreamed up. More and more Jamaicans are speaking about these reforms, and to a large extent I think it's time that we start to really deal with them. The first reform is this question of a fixed election date, fixed terms for our representatives, a more democratic approach to governance, meaning MPs will be consulting regularly with their constituencies. They'll be assessed. There'll be some kind of plan and assessment, and if necessary one could probably recall them. The whole question of breaking with the British Crown and so on, and of course the very important issue of reparations. I also wish for the future a different approach to leadership, and very briefly, leadership that is more honest, more democratic, and more proactive. I think that might also help us. I will not trot out all of the reforms that are being considered. Another very important one, of course, is this question of the participation of the wider community and possibly an extension of what we call civil society. Right now, civil society is far too narrow. And when we hear of consultations with these partners, it's just a few persons in a room. It needs to be widened to the community level, to be more democratized, and one in which all our citizens, or most of them, can take some kind of responsibility instead of shifting all the blame to the few representatives that we have. Don't want to go into too much thing. The role of the Senate. I know that we don't have any House of Lords here in Jamaica. We don't have any Lords, but we probably should have more independence in that body that can bring certain independent issues and thoughts to bear. Of course, all of these reforms are laudable. As I said before, people have been speaking about them. How do we achieve them? We need some serious institutional arrangements, which we really do not have in place at this time, but need to build. And to start with small children, with children at school. I hear about new subjects, but this question of civics and your personal responsibility, if you have not grown up with some concept of what your responsibility as a citizen is, it's hardly likely that later on in life you'll feel it necessary to vote, to participate in any way. This question of voting is important, but it is far from sufficient. It cannot be the only way for Jamaicans to participate in a democratic process. It has to be much more than that. Instead of every 5 years to be asked to poll your vote, we need to participate more fulsomely in the total democratic process, and importantly to exercise responsibility at the level of the citizens.
Well,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Next, my brother Jigsaw, Mr. Grant.
Good morning again, listeners. Looking forward from where we are today, dealing with the future of the country, I think we need a new constitution to formalize the arrangements that our leaders can manage the affairs of the country. A lot of people like to talk about reform, and I don't think that will help us, because the constitution is such a complex thing. The moment you try to fix one area, you're getting into conflict with other areas, and we spend a lot of time arguing backward and forward in the legislature about how we get things formalized. And the constitution would then need to address whether we're going to remain a monarchy or we move to a republic, and address situations of dealing with how we get to the appointment of head of state, or selection, as the case might be, similar ministers and constitutional constituency representatives, with features of recall of the ministers and the representative if they're not functioning to meet the targets that have been determined, right? Because once you set targets and develop policies, then you have to measure, are we striving along? As we look at the matters that need addressing, one critical one is political representation, funding activities in the constituencies or in the parish. We have to decide how we deal with that. Right now it's all a hodgepodge, and he who pays the piper calls the tune, as the saying goes. So I would suggest that we need to find funding from the public purse that is limited to a certain value and expenditure in that way, because when you see what is being done on the campaign trail, it's a lot of money being misplaced or misspent that is not benefiting in the development at all. Right? It would seem to be wasteful. We need arrangements like fixed terms for representation at whatever level. And once we have worked through all the possibilities that is available to take us at least another 50 years forward, because the constitution we have does not, coming out of our colonial dispensation, has not served us very well, and our attitude towards political representation is such that there is no respect or give and take to deal with a constitution that is really based on that, a spirit of give and take. We not take all or exclude others, not listening to others, not consulting. It's not very fruitful at all. So having gone through all the different arrangements and come up with from time to time you hear questions of referendum coming up. But it doesn't make sense to have a referendum for individual item. We need a new constitution. We put a constitution in front of the people to get the majority to agree on how government arrangements are going to be made going forward, looking at minimum 50 years, with clauses into review as we measure how it's serving the purpose of governance, and review and adjustments accordingly. And one critical area also is land rights or living space for citizens that can be utilized and get us away from some of the irregular development that takes place. I mean, we know some of that is how it arrives at is to the benefit of those people who are trying to work in a gerrymandering way to create pockets of voters that can be controlled. So you need to deal with those matters. I suggest we take a serious look at it. We need to set up a commission or a body, not leave it to government. They have, once the new government is formed, they have things to do. We need a separate body, a similar arrangement as the electoral commission to deal with that. So that's my start, and we look forward to speaking in the future.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. You know, Mr. Cover, your time now, please.
Yes, welcome. Well, right now I just think about what I'm doing for the future. For the future, I've established a program, Healing of the Nation, in which was launched at the Institute of Jamaica last year. Last night we continued a program at the Liberty Hall, and next Sunday we will continue a program at the Haile Selassie High School, and follow up, we'll continue to have these programs of healing of the nation. Right now, what is happening in the country is that these people are being held down by those who have the privilege. So we have to realize the situation that we are living in. We are living in a neo-colonial state in which our leaders are being promoting the white programs of the world and has not seen it fit to deal with their own culture. And truth and in fact, Jamaica is a country with, call it 9% black and other shades. And we need to start the right step. The right step is in education. We need to ask at the early childhood level. We need to start Afrocentric education, because if a person is not born or grown up to be aware of themselves, they cannot make good of their life. Alright, the political situation right now as it exists, our both leaders need support, if they are leaders anyhow, because the country cannot improve unless every individual take responsibility. In times like these, when we are in these crises, we are being told by the Emperor that we need to put out a double amount of energies towards relieving ourselves from these problems that have come about from wrong decisions being taken by our former political leaders, which caused us to punish at this time. Now, for me in St. Thomas has gone through a famine, because, everybody know about no rain at fall a certain amount of months in St. Thomas. St. Thomas is such a blessed parish. St. Thomas is supposed to be Negril Corporation, because the two sides of the country. Now every resource is there in St. Thomas, but the roads from the last election till now, the opposition have not seen fit. Those persons who seem to go from the minister himself, Mr. Robinson, when I see them going around these political things and driving around these potholes and things like that, and I'm so sorry for the drivers who have these problems. If you go to St. Thomas, you have to drive to Surge Island property, and that road, you feel like you lose, so these things are problems that we have to address. Enough stones are there. But for now, we have many problems. In terms of agriculture, as I tell you, the drought, most of the limes and the orange and the grapefruit and these very important national things has been destroyed from long time, from Gilbert time, a lot of them. So, and they are not being replaced. These are certain serious problems that cause these problems. All you hear talking about cleaning up with this mosquito business. I don't see a thing to start, because we need to have people who take care for these spaces on a permanent basis. So these are some of the problems, but we need to keep good sense, because we don't want any loss of life and property, and we go through so much struggle already. We are kind of vindictive and prone. So I don't want these politicians continue to make certain utterance that will create problems and loss of property and life. So this Healing of the Nation program, in which I'll be going around with the country, and we also have a program, Jamaica Potential, with different entities. Hola. The problem now is for the government of Jamaica to have a certain amount of agreements with the Rastafari community. Because the Rasta community is a different thing from...
Yeah, I indicated to you that the time is finished, but apparently you don't realize that.
Oh, okay then, thank you.
So you have to go come back with that. And We're going to ask the future speakers to concentrate on the future of the political future of Jamaica, not their personal political future. We have the straight up debate going on here. Today is 20th of February, Monday, 22nd. Monday the 22nd of February. We have had 4 presentations so far. And we have 2 so welcome young people here today. We're going to ask them to make their presentation. First, introduce yourself, Ms. Wood.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Small. My name is Wendy Beswick.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Can you introduce yourself a little more?
Okay. I am a second-year student at Norman Manley Law School, and I listen to your program regularly, and that is why I offered myself as someone who would contribute to this debate today.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Small. I'm Lipton Matthews, a second-year student of the University of the West Indies, studying international relations. I'm very passionate about Jamaica politics and development, and this is the reason why I'm here today.
Thank you very much. And you have been here several times?
Yes, I've been here several times before.
What you studying?
International relations.
What year?
Second year.
Thank you very much. What part of Jamaica are you from, Miss Beswick?
From Kingston.
Oh yeah. And you went to school in Kingston before UW?
I started at Immaculate. I went to Immaculate High and Prep School, and then I went on to University of Technology, and I completed my Bachelor of Laws there. And then I went to the University at Buffalo in New York.
Yeah.
Very cold. And I completed my Bachelor of Arts in Communication.
Mr. Matthews, you went to part of Jamaica from?
Yeah, I'm also from Kingston too, and prior to attending UWI, I was a student of Arden High School.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We have a third young person here. The previous people have been approaching our achieving seniority, and we have the 3 young people here now. The third one is just arrived. Good morning, Miss Latoya. Last name is what again?
Fuller. Morning,
yeah, she was here recently. Twice, I think. Yeah, let's go. First presentation by Miss... may I say, we're not allowing reading of presentations. We're not allowing headphones or phones being used. And 5 minutes for each presentation. Ms. Beswick, please.
Mr. Small, please, could you start with Ms. Fuller?
No. We'll start with Mr. Matthews.
Okay. So good morning, Jamaica. Good morning, everyone. And my presentation on the future of Jamaica will be...
Yes, sir.
Will be directly related to the state of education in Jamaica and how we can use science to create wealth for our citizens. Now, the reality is that our passes in CSEC and CAPE are indeed improving. However, much more work needs to be done. The fact is that if we want brighter students, we need better teachers, and our teachers should be drawn from the top % of the graduating cohort. So, for example, when we are about peace and countries like Finland and Singapore, their teachers are from the top 10 and the top 30% of the graduating cohort respectively. Secondly, we should also give kudos to where it is due. There's an organization known as NCEL, the National College for Educational Leadership, that's responsible for training principals. That institution should expand its mandate to look at head of department, senior teachers, and subject teachers. So, for example, teaching science teachers how to develop the material in a more effective manner. Furthermore, we need to become more innovative. We shouldn't sit down there and allow persons from abroad to tell us how to run our country. Many of our plants have medicinal qualities. They can also be used to make cosmetics, and I believe that the Heart Trust should get into this era. We need to be training more of our young people how to use plants to make cosmetics, how to use plants to make pharmaceuticals. The Artist Trust is well funded and the program can work. Young people need opportunities, but many of the opportunities are not traditional opportunities. So as a country, we need to create these opportunities for young people. And also, education is a priority. All of us as Jamaicans, we need to take education seriously. It's not just my business or the Minister of Education business, it's our business, it belongs to the community. Secondly, as a university student, I care about the role of R&D in development. I'm proud of UWI. UWI has made several strides, but with limited resources. As far as I'm concerned, I think the time has arrived for us to put more money into research and science. For example, let's say create a foundation where our university researchers here, instead of competing with persons from throughout the world for grants, we could be making applications here in Jamaica, especially now that we're investing more in our plants and marijuana. We're going to need the facilities, the equipment. We're going to need the right people, and can also provide opportunities for youth. Many of our young persons are brilliant, have great ideas, especially in biotechnology. We even offer a biotechnology program here too, but they don't have the resources, they don't have the funding, and very hard for them to compete with persons from abroad. And other countries, we have the resources, and I think it's time for us to invest in our people. The science, we speak so much about science and technology. We encourage students to study engineering and science, right? And yes, our science department is well respected, but look at the infrastructure. The infrastructure can be improved, it needs to be improved, and it takes cash to cure. Other member of the university, we cannot go to the private sector and say, hey, let's invest in you if we don't have the facilities, if we don't have the equipment. So these are important issues. Our politicians need to pay more attention to these issues, become less populist, and put the people of Jamaica forward.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Matthews. You have only used 3 minutes, but you made it. Okay, you get back that time. Now we're going to ask Miss Latoya to make our presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. I think at a couple days.
Did we read out some of the guidelines? The guidelines are just simple. We don't want any presentation to be read. We don't want the use of any telephone or any earphone, and we allot each person 5 minutes for their initial presentation, and we 5 minutes, did I say?
Yes.
5 minutes.
Okay, I think being a couple of days before the election, I think one of the things we want to look at is why should we vote, and why should we vote for the People's National Party? And one of the main reasons we should vote for the People's National Party is because it has a more competent team of leaders, and with a credible leader at the helm. Over the years, the People's National Party has...
By the way, the topic of the debate is not why people should vote in the election. It is the political future of Jamaica.
Okay.
Not why this or that party should be voted, please, with all respect.
All right, the political future of Jamaica will look strong if the current administration continues. And the reason I say this is because the current administration has been able to stabilize the economy over a very rough period.
With all respect, we're not talking about the record of any party, we're talking about the political future of Jamaica. And believe me, we're not going to allow a campaign presentation. We're talking about the political future of Jamaica.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever thought about it.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
The political future of Jamaica it's still, it looks. All right. Let me. You don't want us to mention anything at all about the political party, but we have to mention the performance of the government.
Listen. I said this is not about this election on Thursday.
Right.
It is about the political future of Jamaica. So we will learn from that whether you think that the political future of Jamaica is PNP or whether you're thinking of the wider political future of Jamaica. Go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt you again. Whatever you say, I'm not going to interrupt you again.
Okay. Well, it has to do with, from where I stand, we must understand and assess the current performance.
If you continue talking about now and the performance, we're going to cut to another speaker. We're talking about the political future.
Right. So the political future of Jamaica come after Thursday. That's what you're saying. What will happen to Jamaica, right? And that's what you're asking me. I just want to be clear. You're asking me what does Jamaica look like after.
I'm going to give you a chance to kind of recollect your thoughts. Ms. Basic, can you make your presentation, please?
Yes, Mr. Small.
You will.
I believe that the political future rests heavily on education in our country, and resulting from that, the jobs which come from the education. So what I have in my mind is that the jobs that are available for young people or persons just coming out of university need to be in line with their level of training. So it makes no sense for us as a country to only have available jobs that are beneath the level of persons training. So we have or are trying to create so many call centers, hotel jobs, and I'm not saying that those jobs are not important, but we can develop our political climate and or political landscape if we create jobs that allow people to be using their intellect in a way that reflects their level of training. As a result of that, I believe that persons would be more engaged in the political process. We could have more meaningful discussions, and it would go beyond, oh well, my family has always voted for one party and so that's why I'm voting for this party. Because if a person is educated and they're working in their field or in whatever area they're trained in, they're thinking at the level they ought to be thinking. And so when political discussions arise, their level of interaction or contribution in those discussions take on a different meaning, a deeper meaning, and I think that is one of the problems we face now today. So with a debate, I think that is a way in which we can improve our political future, political landscape, because we're all as citizens and educated individuals able to engage our politicians in meaningful discussions and understand what it is that they're presenting us with, what are the policies that they want to implement, and we can use our education and or intellect in deciding whether or not we want to agree with them or disagree with them, and we do that by way of voting. So I really think that education is crucial in the political landscape of Jamaica in the future, and any government that is in power should see as best as possible how they can create jobs that are in line with young persons, especially level of education and their training. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. If we had continued till the time for the news, you'd still have about a minute over. But yes, you have concluded. Thank you very much. It has been going well so far. When we come back, Miss Latoya, she will get a chance to make her presentation. We're not going to handicap her by a couple minutes that she'll be near already. We're just going to give her 45 minutes after the news. As you will have realized, there in the so-called phone land, it's not convenient to allow phone calls there. We have allowed one phone call since morning. It kind of wasted. Why I said that? Because the person phoned to talk about something, and then they wanted to spend their time talking about what I had said since the phone, but I really wanted to know what they made the phone about. We might have some time, but I cannot doubt it. What with the 7 people who are here? We might have some time, but after the initial presentations, we're going to have some topics and ask each person to comment on those in terms of the future of Jamaica. Politically, and politics affects economics, affects health, affects sports, recreation, everything, politics, but how we want ourselves, how we want our community to be organized, to serve us, and not us to serve the state. And therefore, that's what we're thinking about, the political future of Jamaica. We have had 6 presentations so far, as we said, 5 minutes for each one. No reading from paper. Of course, you must have your notes and you refer to your notes, that's reasonable. And we're going to give Miss Latoya, what's the last name again? Fuller. Her opportunity to make her presentation. She has not started yet, so she has the full 5 minutes. And this is the 3rd hour of the program. I'm your host, Jerry Small. This is New Start 93 FM. And we're so glad everybody could come, and so glad that we have an exact balance of youth and age. Thank you very much, Latoya.
Okay, Jerry, you're asking about the political future of Jamaica. And when I'm thinking about the political future, there are a couple of things that come to mind. The electorate is one of those factors. The quality of our politicians is another factor, and the electoral process itself. You know, so when I look at the electorate, the pollsters have said that we are expecting a 58% voter turnout, and the question is, how do we increase that number of persons? How do we get the undecided persons, the uncommitted persons, to come out and vote and be a part of the process? So a big part of that has to do as well with the quality of the politicians that are available for the persons to choose. What their political experience, what do they see them do, their credibility, you know, their ability to get things done when they say they're going to get things done. So those are two of the factors. And so the future for politics in Jamaica, will we see higher voter turnouts influenced by better quality politicians? Another factor is the electoral process itself. You know, how do you get persons to come out now to vote and be a part of the electoral process? One of the things you realize, as the pollsters have somewhat indicated, it's the base, it's the active, committed base of both parties that are currently involved on an election day. So are there aspects of our existing electoral process that can be improved? You know, from time to time you hear about stuff about like ballot stuffing, and you hear different things that you don't want to have happen on an election day. You want a free and a fair election. The Integrity Commission has been saying, you know, we don't want any paying system, we don't want anybody buying any votes. So the political future of Jamaica, we want to see it paints a picture of a Jamaica where we have more persons coming out to vote because they believe in the effectiveness of our politicians, and they come out to vote because they believe in the free and fairness of our electoral system. A political process that also engages our leaders on issues of the day, having greater accountability for what is it they say they're going to be doing. You know, when a clearer understanding, the electorate wants to have a clear understanding of the manifestos that persons generally put forward. What exactly does it mean? Somebody comes out and they say they're going to be issuing a particular plan, you know, concerning different aspects of the economy. People want to have a clear understanding as to what exactly it means. But for the smaller man who didn't go to school at a certain level, at the university level, are we talking about issues that need to be said in a simpler language, so that the persons going out to vote are clear? They can make up their minds for themselves. They know what is a reasonable proposition being put forward by a politician versus what is just a pie in the sky. You know, so that kind of a discussion and an engagement to be a part of the political process is something we want to see more of, for the political future of Jamaica. As it relates to integrity issues, you know, the Integrity Commission this year caught one or two persons before nomination day, but they have not gotten everybody, right? Because there are questions concerning the credibility of some of our leaders. So you know, we would like to see the Integrity Commission having a little bit more teeth, helping with the sieving process to select better quality politicians as a part of our political future. You know, so that's.
Well, thank you very much. And Latoya is the only person who has clearly indicated that you know, she represents a party. And we have to give her a big hand for that. I have to be courageous to do so. Thank you very much. Now we're going to whether people want to rebut other points or not. we're going to ask some quick answers for some various subjects. You know, it was 1 minute. 1 minute responses. Hold on. Before you respond to her, later you get to respond. I just want to ask one by one in the order from the... Come quickly, sir, please. Come cross quickly. All right, we're going to ask now Mr. Matthews. No, first Mr. Your name again, please, quickly. We have to do things quickly.
Michael Pottinger.
Michael Pottinger. Now, the question of land for the citizens and the occupants of Jamaica. What do you desire in the future? 1 minute.
Well, equal distribution to all who don't have land, so that at least they can farm and feed themselves and their families. You know, the way the world has been distributed is, the big man, the bully boy, leads the way. The man with the money leads the way. But there's far too many of us who don't have the money and are suffering because of that. So there's the imbalance of what government represents right now. Government does not represent the people.
I just realized that we have cut the time to 30 seconds because we have several things here.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Next one. Could you get a response from Ms. Campbell, please? Land. Give her. We have to move around the thing, the earphone. And we have to pay attention. Yeah, pardon me? You don't need no headphone. Okay.
Yes, land issue is extremely important, particularly in the context of higher levels of unemployment and income inequality and the inability of Jamaica over the past few decades to show any real serious levels of growth. And I question whether we can do it in a short period. We therefore need to put people on the land so that they can at least feed themselves and build a house.
Thank you very much. Latoya?
She ended on a good point, Jerry, because land ownership is really for two main purposes. You either want somewhere to live or you want somewhere to farm to make a living. So
may I add, land is vital for collateral. Vital.
For security as well. That's correct. So at the whole process of estate planning is a big one in Jamaica, and I say that because when somebody dies, you have a situation where persons have to fight over the land, and then you also have a situation where people living on land and they don't have a title. So any move to get a title in somebody's hand is a good initiative, and any move to help persons to sort out this whole family land situation is also a good initiative.
All right, let's come, Mr. Grant, come quickly, please. I have to be quick.
Yeah. The land issue is serious. The last time I recall there's any attempt at reform in that area is way back late 50s or early 60s, right? And people that does not leave a living space just to farm. They need to have it so they can carry out any economic activity that they have skills to deal with. Because you can carry out your economic activities actually where you live.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
So that needs to be addressed.
Next one, Mr. Kova. Let's try avoid repeating what somebody else said. I just want to know the future of land tenure in Jamaica for the citizens and occupants of Jamaica.
The future for the occupants of Jamaica is to acquire these empty lands where they're all around in Jamaica and put them into the production, because this is a capture land. In terms of the general for the citizens of Jamaica, land is something for certain privileged persons. In terms of the Rasta community, they move us from St. Thomas, where we go to St. Catherine, they move us, we go on the dump, and they move us. So, particularly the Rastas are landless in Jamaica. They want repatriation.
I advise people, not to address the needs of any particular group of citizens, because if we're talking about the citizens and occupants of a country, and we're focusing on one set of people, whether Rasta, Muslim, girls, boys, or whatever, we're not going to be serving the public. We're going to be serving our own interests. Next person, please. Come, sir. Come now. Did you speak already? Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Mr. Matthews.
Well, in relation to the land issue, we need to preserve property rights. Many persons own land, but they have no title. We need to ensure that these persons have to get their title, and we also need to deal with squatting. That's my position on land.
Yes, my lady.
Yes, I believe that the National Land Agency, the NLA, could assist in this process by implementing some sort of public education program to let persons know whether or not their land is indeed registered land or unregistered land, because having registered land, I think, it determines the future of land in Jamaica, because we all want to be legal in terms of land ownership, and maybe thinking about setting up something sort of like a legal aid clinic but for land, with the assistance of the NLA.
Now, Ms. Lataya, the next thing we're going to start off with you. You mentioned the political base of the two parties. And what do you consider, those who are not attached to the political base of each party, what do you consider them to be based on?
Well, a great politician had once indicated that everybody in Jamaica has a preference. So whether or not they are an active part of the political...
A preference between PNP and JLP?
A preference.
This is an idiot.
A preference...
Whoever said that is an idiot.
A preference for a political party.
Out of the PNP and JLP?
Well, yes.
We have to dismiss that person. That's an idiot.
Well, most persons, even though they don't come out and say that, yes, my preference is this or that, if they're not a part of the political...
I am talking about those who are not part of the base and the PNP and the JLP. And we're going right back into the base I've been talking about.
No, not the base.
I am talking about, I'm asking about who is not part of the PNP and JLP base. What do you regard them as? And you're going right back into the base of PNP and JLP.
No, it's not the base. What I'm saying, if somebody is quote-unquote undecided...
Not undecided. I'm asking the people who are not attached to the PNP and JLP, who do you consider them to, what do you consider them to be based on?
They are not attached to a party, but it doesn't negate that they don't have a preference. So even though they're not attached, in their minds, they still have a preference on the basis of
preference
issues.
Of what? Preference of what?
They have a preference for a particular...
Which choice?
They have a preference based on issues.
No, which choice?
When you say which choice, what you mean?
No, preference indicates choice between at least more than one thing.
They have a preference for a politician, or a preference for a particular policy, or a preference for a particular way of thinking.
The time is up. I think I got stuck there. Next person. People refer to this PNP and JLP base. Those who are not part of this PNP and JLP base, what do you regard them as?
Independents.
Yeah, and what base do you think they form a part of?
Well, independents are persons with political views, and these political views are unique to them. So, for example, I may like a particular policy. Let's say agriculture. I want more land to be produced. I support the agri-parks policy, but at the same time, I don't support any person within that party. So I may like the policy, but the policy makers in the party, I don't believe that those are the right persons to lead the country, and I also have issues with some of their other ideas. So
nice. Play close attention, Ms. Basic. There's a lot of talk over the last 70 or 80 years about the base of the PNP and the base of the JLP, those who are attached there. And you even made mention of those people who feel compelled to support one party because their parents did. Now, those who are not attached to these parties, what do you regard them as? What kind of entity you regard them as? Are they the basis of something, or are they just a headless, mindless set of people out there?
I don't think that they're mindless or headless. I just think that they're undecided, and what influences them is what is happening at the time, the current climate and the current conditions facing the country.
Nice. Now, Miss Campbell, it has been, you have heard what we have been saying, and it is also imputed to these people that they are not playing their part in the country, and any country that they are in, people who do not support the two main political, most countries have two dominant political parties. It has been implied that people who don't support the one or the other of the dominant political parties are not, they're not full citizens, and some people even suggest that they shouldn't enjoy full rights. Let's go.
Yes, the base of the parties. People who decide, especially after a number of years, not to slavishly follow any political line, I think it's their right. And we are all citizens of Jamaica. We have certain concerns, not about necessarily party politics, but how the whole democratic process should evolve in the country. But of course, these people need to be better organized. This force of at least more than 40% need to be better organized and make their views known and help to improve the political system.
All right, Mr. Cover, you are the second person here representing a political party, Marcus Garvey's People's Political Party. Those people who are not attached to the PNP or the JLP or the NDM or the PPP, what do they mean to you? What is their status to you?
Well, they are very, very important, because one of the things you can know that they don't like handout. So most of those persons are self-reliant persons, and I've not seen any one of these persons making the right decisions for the development of their lives. And they are very, very serious about decision making, because that is very important. A decision that has been made can cause punishment not only for yourself but for others.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Grant, your comments on the people who are said to be baseless.
Well, we could refer to them as a third force, independent force that need better access or better options to political organization and activity in the country, which currently over the last many years now, neither of these political parties are providing that a wider space.
Neither, that means the two main ones.
Yeah.
What about the other two? One has been trying for 21 years now, Marcus Garvey political party being around a little while.
Well, I think you largely only hear about them just before election.
Is that because they have money? Is that because they have money?
Funding would be a challenge.
No, because people who are interested in elections, people who have money. So obviously these two small
people
have money. Because you have to spend money at the election.
No, I know.
All right, next, Mr. Pinnacle. Quickly, please.
Yeah, the silenced majority is who we are,
Silent or quiet?
Well, we've been silenced. There's no options open to us, is there? This is what we're talking about.
And if there are no options,
we're here to open the avenue for options. The dissatisfaction of the silent majority or the quiet majority is towards what they see the two main parties have done to the country since 1962. Well, yeah, 38. Yeah, you're the historian. You know better than I. But they have systematically just worked this country down when just simple education could turn this farming
your 30
nation.
seconds are up, and you have beautifully brought me to the next aspect that I want to come.
All right, give thanks.
I don't think that they have systematically worked the country down. What I think is, and this is framing the next topic, or 30-second comment. What they have done between them is that they have assured, I don't think they started out planning it, but it suited them so it develops organically. They have developed a system where it is expensive to win elections, and thereby they too will dominate because they are attached to the money sources in ways that that the mass of the people can't access. Comment, please.
Comment on what? Why?
The buying of votes and the engendering of it by the two main parties.
Yes, you're exactly you're quite correct on that point, because both parties, when they're in power, they create policies to benefit the money class. And in Jamaica we have a very strong lobbying. We have very strong lobbying groups. So policy groups, they lobby for various issues, for tax incentive waivers, etc. And as a result of those policies, they're able to hold the politicians at ransom. So yes, I do agree. And it's also very expensive here for small parties and for independent candidates to access funding. We don't have a developed crowdfunding system where persons can create means to raise money online, etc. So I do agree.
Thank you very much, Ms. Basic.
Yes,
the buying of votes as engendered by the two main political parties, which assure that either one of them or the other is in authority, and that when the other one that loses, when they lose, they are looked out for by the ruling party. They are looked out for and facilitated. And matter of fact, they are guaranteed spaces in the parliament.
Yes, I think that we all know that vote buying is an issue that is timeless in this country. And going back to my earlier point about persons being educated, I think that if you're an educated person and you're working and you have the ability to think for yourself, any attempt to buy your vote would actually be seen as an insult to you and would be an answer within itself as to how you are to vote. So it's something that we have to work on over time, and I think that education will help improve the decrease in vote buying.
Ms. Campbell? Ms. Campbell is about to give us her take on the structured buying and selling of elections in Jamaica by the two main parties.
Thank you, Mr. Small. This question of the best democracy money can buy is not limited to Jamaica. It's very active in the US, for example, which is our great example of everything. And it is in the context of a global economy that is dominated by neoliberalist policies and market fundamentalism. So we are caught in a wider global structure to a large extent. What is the response? Some level of independence, economic independence. Whether we have this question of producing our own food.
Yeah, 30 seconds, we got 40. All right, next, Mr. Grant. Apparently, then are we bound to continue that both votes and voting is bought and sold in Jamaica? Quickly, 30 seconds.
We need to step out of that.
No, apart from needs, are we bound? 30 seconds.
No, we're not, but we must organize ourselves differently in terms of funding for political activity, which should come out of the public purse, because it's your taxes anyway, and it gives you an opportunity to offer representation, and without waiting on these large funds to come at an appointed time near to election. What you want, if you're going to have a democracy, you've got to continue doing the 5 years between the periods of voting.
Next one, Mr. Pinnacle. Come, sir, we have to pay attention now, because it's not a joke. It's not like the Parliament now or God knows there now, where them joke around and fornicate.
Yes, we know.
Yes, sir. The buying of votes in Jamaica. Are we bound into that? And
we're not bound into it.
What is the way out?
We've been trained.
What is the way out? What's the way out?
The way out is to to bring the family together across the world, Jerry. You know, and make. No,
we're going too wide. We're going too wide.
No, it's not too wide.
Yeah, we're going too wide. No, we're not dealing with the world now.
Yeah, no, we are all the time. All the time.
Jerry.
No, not yet. Mr. Cover.
Yeah, what has happened, you know, this political fever has brought prostitution, because not only everybody when it comes to election become prostitutes, want something. No care who he is, no care how big he is, if he is a doctor or a little man, if he is a madman. So the whole spirit and element and education of that have to be redressed by bringing up a new Jamaica.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
All right, Jerry, the fact that Integrity Commission has been advertising against it means that it's a reality, right? No, one of the perspective I would like for us to look at is it for vote buying. The other side of the coin is that somebody, a political volunteer, is getting a stipend to do something that they would have done anyway, right? So I think part of why they do it is because they, like the undecided, are not immune from what is the political reality of some of the inadequacies of the candidates and some of the political process. So if they are getting a stipend to volunteer to do what they would have done anyway, for them it's an economic benefit. So moving away from that.
We're out of time now. We're going 30 seconds. Hear this now. I noticed that you mentioned national NIA. No, well, still linear, please. I noticed you mentioned NIA, and they have advertisement out there saying that it is a criminal act to sell your vote. Has it struck you that they have not said it's a criminal act for the parties to be buying vote? Has that struck you?
Well, I think it's a two process. It's two ways, two parties.
No, that's not what I asked you. I asked if it has struck you.
Because what they're saying, it's two-way. It's two persons involved.
No, I'm asking if it has struck you.
It has struck me that they have not said to the party that it is not proper.
To the public that the parties are criminal. They have said to the public that the seller of the vote, the citizen, is a criminal if he does so. Has it struck you that they have not said that the party is criminal to be doing it?
Well, I think what they're saying is the supplier versus the person buying.
No, please don't explain what they're saying. I ask if it has struck you that they have not said that the party is criminal.
I think they're sympathetic towards the party because...
I don't want you to explain what they're saying. I ask if it has struck you.
Yes.
That they are not said that the party is criminal.
Right. There are two persons involved in the process. Hold on one sec, Jerry.
No, not going to hold on. She's not going to answer that one. Come, let's go.
Right, so, Mr. Small, you're really asking us a very important question because the issue is this. Both bind...
Latoya represents the PNP, by the way.
Yeah. Both bind a serious issue, but in your question, you're also asking us to explain how, because of how Jamaica structure or politicians are able to get money to work with their friends.
Alright, we're going to come to that. Now, have you answered this topic here?
No, sir.
Yeah. The buying of votes, it has been instituted and escalated by the parties, and they continue doing it. They are putting up the money for campaigning so that only they, one or the other, can reach that. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And what about it?
Well, the fact that they're putting in the money, they have money so that they allocate.
They buy the crowd in halfway tree.
Yes.
Whether last night or the PNP night.
Yes. Yes, as I mentioned before, I believe that it is part and parcel of our elections now. But the question.
No, future we're talking about.
Yes, and moving forward in the future, we'll have to find out how that is going to be addressed.
All right, next one. We're going to the next topic. Access to fresh water. That's a human right that most people understand. Access to seawater. Your take on the access to seawater, Mr. Latoya.
Access to fresh water and seawater.
We pass fresh water. Let's not be detailed by fresh water. Most people understand access to fresh water. Access to seawater.
All right. Access to seawater. I think what I have been seeing the government do is to ask for communities to come together to protect their local rights. So, for instance, if there are a group of if you have a beach, a resort, a beach in a particular area that the public utilizes, the government doesn't want to be managing that beach from in Kingston here if you're in the rural area.
I don't want a point of view of the government, you know.
No, not a point of view of
I'm
the
talking
government.
about the access to seawater.
Right.
Not the government. Not talking about government. Talking
Right,
about
so
access
we
to
as
seawater.
citizens want to maintain that access to seawater for recreational purposes and everything. So if it is that we are to maintain that access, we have to get involved in the process. And by being involved, you come together, you form a benevolent society, you form a little management company, something to protect, so at the end of the day, we don't have to pay any. It doesn't get privatized.
Yeah, well, it is the government who is doing that now. Thank you very much. Next one. Next one.
Well, with access, remember, if we're saying that some of our resources are very important, especially resources relating to the environment and heritage resources, because some of these, seawater, they're in communities that are important to us historically, then it's quite easy to protect them. The Jamaica Heritage Trust, we can pass out, it's quite easy.
Access we're talking about, not protection.
Access to seawater.
Yeah.
Well, it's all that's not an issue either. What exactly is the question?
Access?
Yes, how people
hold on, access? Seawater?
Yes.
The Jamaican people do not have free access to seawater. Next one, get to her.
Yes, I think that the sea is a resource that is available to all of us as citizens. So should be, and so we shouldn't be restricted to accessing it. And I know that in Jamaica now we're not able to access all beaches.
And do you know that it has been privatized more and more by the UDC and headed by KD Knight here now, and under Patterson? The most divestment of it, especially to foreigners and foreign hotels and all that thing, has been a runaway thing. Chinese, everybody, understand that?
Yes, sir.
And the other government has not corrected. You don't know that?
Yes, sir.
Next one. Let's have somebody else now.
Well, it's over the time it's been gradually denied.
Eroded like the beach.
Based on the development that has been taking place. Right?
Development?
Yeah, development.
Development of foreigners.
Development not taking place on the land that has denied access, free
No, but
access.
no, anything that
access.
denies access out to the beach is not development. I'm so sorry, I'm not going to interrupt you again.
No, I pause at this one.
Over, Mr. Cover.
This is a method to the community.
The what? Degrade.
Anything when you D, when it comes to read D, yeah, the community.
Right.
Because these persons come in and they sell out, they conspire to give away, not sell. If I sell price it will be good, but to give away all of these areas of resource
but
and
what about
benefit.
it? We know what happened already. What about the future now?
The future about it is reclaim. The citizens will reclaim.
Should we take action against those who conspire to do this?
We shouldn't know about it, that it's technical, because those who conspire to do it is those who are
Because
saying.
something is technical, we're going to
No,
bother this.
no, we're going to do it now, but I just assure you, say, well, all of those who are talking about it, is them who support it.
Yes, sir, Mr. Pinnacle.
Yes, criminal enterprises, Jerry. Criminal enterprises. And they should be held accountable. The job of the work of government is to govern the property of the people. And you can't take the people's property and give it to other people to come and build themselves.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, well, they have. And this is and it is a crime. And the people who call it development, because right now they're just defacing the whole of the shoreline with these monstrosities. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is a small island.
Everybody has left to comment on that. Everybody comment on that already. Alright, we're going to move to the next thing, but let's go for a break. Straight up. Welcome back to Straight Up. Today is a debate day on Straight Up. 22nd of February, Monday. Election is on the 25th. The election, the general election in Jamaica. We're talking about the political future of Jamaica. Future we're dealing with. And we have 7 people here. 3 very young people, very bright. And 4 elder people, also very bright. And last night PJ Patterson said PNP sun rising from the east to the west, and it will never set. I don't know which sun will never set, but I know that him have the spirit, him is campaigning. But you know what I mean? And we don't regard old people as no setting sun. Yeah, they go down over the horizon. No set down now. Thank you very much. Now the next question we come to, we're starting with Lataya. The future, political future of Jamaica, same-sex marriage and same-sex adoption. Future, how you take the future?
Well, Jerry, if we're to be honest, Jamaica is a Christian society, guided by Christian beliefs and principles. Same-sex marriage is not something that is embraced in Jamaica. We hear it in other countries, and while we have to work and cooperate with them, I don't think it's a policy that we will necessarily get to anytime soon.
I mean, we never expected to get anytime soon to legalize in Gambia, but it is an election winner. But same-sex marriage won't be an election winner in Jamaica for the nearest future.
No, it won't.
It won't. Otherwise, it would be in the cards. Thank you very much. Next one.
We're not, I agree with you, Joe. We're not going to have same-sex marriage here. I don't see that happening in the near future any at all.
Yes, ma'am.
I wouldn't say that it's not going to happen.
Political future, you know. People can do things on their own, but political.
Politically, I think that if it's something to be decided in Parliament, each member of Parliament ought to decide based on their conscience and not a party decision. And if it is to be put to the people via referendum, I believe that as with a general election, people ought to vote according to their conscience.
J. Nicholson say you're mad because that will make any party lose elections. So you say, no way them not put that to no election. No, I believe that if people want to live with their men and their women, that is their business. But I am saying, why invade the institutions of other people? Other people have institutions named marriage between male and female. Why invade it? Why not have something for themselves and call it sodomy or marriage? Why not do that? That's my question. So Kova.
Yeah, a long time them plant this thing because a demonic force that they continue to...
No, political. We're not talking religious now.
Yeah,
political.
but whether it be political or what you're saying, I tell you, it's a devil business. The creator don't deal with that. They want to stop creation. They want to
no,
stop...
but the creator allows it. The creator allows it. You can't talk about creator not deal with that.
Well, the people
are not dealing with that, you know, create allow it.
Well, the main thing about this evil is that it wants to stop creation, and creation not going to stop.
No,
so.
we're not talking about no religious thing here now. Politics and government is about what you allow legal in a country. We're not talking about, listen. We're not talking no religion here or morals. We're talking about whether a political future of Jamaica is going to authorize the marriage procedure that is between male and female to be conferred on same-sex people. In other words, for them to invade the institutions by law. Not talking about no religion now.
If our vigilant attitude diminish, well, these things will come upon us.
Yes, Mr. Grant, what is it?
No way. Not
political fury.
Not desirable. All right, and with all the things that's going wrong, we just make it worse. We don't have to follow what people do.
Same-sex adoption by same-sex people. In other words, the heterosexual people create an industry where those who are poor can sell their children to the same-sex people who can't have children. Because that's a market going to develop. You know?
I would have a difficulty with it because I am too a part of the Christian tradition. Although Christian tradition is a
we're talking political, you know.
thing.
We're
yes,
talking political, not religious.
yes, but it is linked with religion. That is where they get the feeling
no,
from.
No, not talking about religion.
Okay.
Political. No.
Okay. I can, however, if somebody like Trump or Obama comes here and is giving enough money.
Where you say rump?
Comes here, him say one. Yes. I expect that certain leaders would kiss him and they would probably
kiss
make it legal here. Yes.
Kiss him on Trump?
Yes.
Well, I saw Delano Franklin kissing the private sector man there the other day and said that not because them don't enter the debate and the public is disappointed in the PNP, but they don't take nothing away from the contributions and the private sector's contribution very much. And he's welcoming the private sector, and the door is open. The back door is open at any time for the private sector can enter any time. So you know, a lot of kissing going on, kiss and tell.
Yeah, well, we're totally against it, and
politically,
politically, religiously, and all ways, because
Sodom and Gomorrah was a political state, you know.
But there's a root. There's also a root to this thing where what we need to be focusing on in regards to the foods that we eat and stuff, because there's chemicals that are causing these alterations in the mind. No, but it's important because it's cause and effect.
Same-sex marriage you are dealing now.
Cause and effect. Cause and effect.
Yes, Mr. Grant, have you spoken?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, next thing now. Garrison. You know the garrison system in Jamaica, where political parties and political candidates have tight and physical control over constituencies and over the voting in constituencies. You know that? You look puzzled.
I'm waiting to see what you're coming with. It's not a puzzle.
I've already come.
Yeah. Yeah, you want me to comment on that?
The future of garrison control. You know that Siaga 45 years in control by the method of garrison. Portia Simpson Miller, another garrison controller. And you know that both parties have garrison.
You know, everything is a matter of perspective.
No. So therefore, maybe it is not true that they have garrison.
No. What I'm getting into.
Is it untrue? First thing, is it untrue that both parties have garrison?
No, both parties have garrisons, right?
Let me say, hold on, where?
No. What I want to get at, Jerry, is community leadership, right? And if in my community you consider my community a garrison and there are community leaders in my community, if I'm uptown, is a neighborhood and one or two presidents of the associations, and if I'm in a
you're talking about citizens association?
Yes, citizens association with presidents.
And you're likening that to dance in garrison?
Well, to the extent of there's community leadership.
Yes or no? You're likening community citizen association presidents with dance?
With community leadership.
All right, tell me something now. What is a garrison? No, I don't. No, she don't want to answer.
All right, so
it's kind of embarrassing.
Yes, no.
When you have a president like Portia Simpson Miller.
No, Mr. Smith.
No, hold on. When you have a president like Portia Simpson Miller, and when you have a past prime minister like Siaga, you're not going comfortable talking about garrison. Mr. Matthews.
Yeah. No, we all know what garrisons are. What what we call exclusive vote. They consistently vote for one party over the other. Sometimes violence is used to get those persons to vote, but a garrison is not only a geographical space, it's also in the mind. That's the best way to get rid of the garrison. Start with education because it's in the mind.
Who is going to get rid of the garrison?
Me, all of us.
In other words,
all of us.
Yes,
So
in other words, those who are not subject to garrison.
Yes, so I am educated. I can
hear this now. Last night a man challenged me and said, go on like you're a bad man all on the radio. You know why? Because we will not be subjected to no garrison. And he is comfortable with subjection to garrison. Next lady.
Yes, I do believe that both parties have stronghold garrisons.
Future now. What the future go? How are we going to get out of that?
That's a difficult question to answer. The only
Is it possible?
It's possible, but I don't see it happening.
Did you know that Cuba was under garrison?
No, I did not know.
Yeah. You know about Castro? Yeah. You know about the Cuban Revolution?
Somewhat.
We have to learn about it. Let's get to the elders. Let's move fast, please. We only have 4 minutes left here.
I agree with that young man, Jerry, that garrison can also apply to a mental attitude. For example, I've always marveled about how Westmoreland constantly votes for the PNP. I don't see what they get from it. I can only think of it as a garrison mentality. How to change it, the people themselves have to be aware of it and decide to change it.
All right, that's it. Next one.
Yeah.
So we have to move fast.
Garrison is a little mix-up
No,
thing.
don't define it. We're talking about the future of garrison.
The future of garrison is that employment be created in the community and the persons be educated.
Next one, please.
Yeah, we need to tackle that condition by education. Standard education, education about identity, culturally also, that's a mix, and opportunities, creating wealth, not just up the top, everybody creating
All right,
wealth.
next one, please. Fast, we have to pay attention,
No, there's no future for garrisons. There's a future for development and the level of community
All right,
development.
next point we are going to know. Debates, Latoya. Debates in election, national election in Jamaica, future.
Well, the national debates have an important role to play. So in the future, it will always be a part of the political future process. It will always be a part of the political
What happened to this year one?
It had to do with the credibility of the persons involved, and the people.
What happened at RGR the other day?
What happened at RGR the other day? Well, what is that I heard? Well, to the best of my knowledge, RGR had approached the party, the People's National Party, with a proposal which would have been an alternative to the entire process. The People's National Party was ready and prepared to go forward with this news forum. The Labour decided they didn't want to be a part of it.
What did Dion Jackson Miller, what did she decide?
Well, Dion Jackson Miller decided she was not going to take part in the process.
Why?
No, I don't know if it had...
All right, well, you don't know. What did Miss Shields say? What's her name again? Miss Shields. Emily Crooks.
Emily expressed a concern for other...
What did she do?
What did she do?
Yeah. She went along with it?
No, she didn't.
Why?
No, that's what I'm saying. She expressed a concern on behalf of the press, the other members of the press. But
concerned that what?
Concerned that it was a part that RGR was being given an advantage.
Okay. You know that RGR is a part of Gleaner?
Yes, there are...
Nice. Someone just quickly.
The debates must continue, they will continue, and we should never allow leaders to say that they will not debate again.
So go ahead without them?
Yes, we should go ahead without them.
Any of them is vital and without them it mustn't go?
Excuse me?
Without any one of them it mustn't go because they're not in it?
No, if they don't want to participate in a debate with fine parties who can.
The future of debates in our electoral process is at risk, I believe, because a precedent has been set.
Is Parliament organized strictly? Don't Parliament is organized about debates? That's what Parliament is about?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Next one, elders. We have to be fast.
Yes, the debates are important in the context of broader communication strategies.
All right, that's it. Next one. No, that
is very important. And at least they don't have anywhere going, so them don't want to debate.
We must have debate, but not just by the individuals or the parties. Generally,
all right, thank you. Next one, please. Quickly, please.
Yes, debate is very important.
Yeah, and it's clean. It's not something. It's not a trap.
No,
but it can trap certain people.
It can trap certain people.
All right, I want to thank the community. I want to thank everybody here. I will by name. We'll do it again tomorrow when the program opens and allow the phone calls. But thank you all for having come here. And I want to thank producer Tanya Richards, production assistant Kelisha Williams, broadcast technician Yain Stewart. Straight up to today. Thank you very much. Straight. Let's get up there.
PNP President Portia Simpson Miller says she's aiming to win all 11 seats in the party's Region 6 on election day. Political historian and analyst Shalman Scott says the JLP needs to be more practical in getting things done because the Jamaican society is more sophisticated. Ministry of Health says measures have been put in place to prepare for any possible increase in the number of H1 influenza cases, and JUTC bus driver beaten while transporting JLP supporters.